Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there was a beast. He was a great beast and lived in a great castle that stood in the middle of a great park. And everybody in the country held the beast in great fear. In fact, everything about the beast was great. In particular, his roar was great and could be heard for miles around the park. And when he roared, the people trembled. But nobody ever saw the beast, because the beast never came out of his park, and no one ever dared to venture onto his estate. But matters were not allowed to remain like this forever, for something very wonderful happened to the beast and to somebody else. About 2 miles from the great castle, there lived a rich merchant and his 3 daughters. The youngest daughter, whose name was Beauty, was very pretty and was always happy and positive like a ray of sunshine. She was the joy of her father's heart. Unfortunately, one day the merchant lost all his money, so every valuable thing that he owned was taken away, and the servants were sent away as well. This meant that the merchant and his daughters had to do their own housework. The 2 older daughters were very upset by this, but Beauty was all smiles, for her heart was as sunny as ever. So she rolled up her sleeves and got to work, and she made herself useful here, there, and everywhere. One morning, the merchant received a telegram containing much needed good news. According to the telegram, somebody who owed the merchant a great deal of money was ready to repay the debt, and all the merchant had to do was go to the city and collect it. Everyone was delighted at this good news, and the merchant was ready to set off for the city at once. "Daddy, can you bring me something back from the city?" said the oldest daughter as the merchant was about to leave. "Okay, and what would you like me to bring back for you?" asked the merchant. "I want a white satin dress trimmed with lace and pearls," said his eldest daughter. "And can you bring me something back too, father?" said the second daughter. "And what would you like, my daughter?" asked the merchant. "I want a purse full of gold coins so that I can buy whatever I want myself," the second daughter said. "I will try to get what you both asked for," the merchant said. "But what shall I get for you, Beauty?" "My dearest father, I would like you to please bring me back a rose, a lovely red rose if you can," replied Beauty with a smile as she helped her father put on his coat. Unfortunately, when the merchant arrived at the city, he found out that the man who owed him the money was still not able to pay him. So the unhappy merchant had to return home without the white satin dress and without the bag of gold coins, and he dreaded meeting his 2 daughters, for he knew that they would be very angry with him. On his way home, the merchant passed by the great park where the great beast lived in his great castle. And as the merchant passed by a corner of the wall, he saw a lovely red rose, which was just within his reach if he stood on his toes. "Well, at least I can get Beauty what she asked for," the merchant said to himself, and then he stood on his toes and plucked the rose. All of a sudden, there was a roar, which was so loud that it shook the ground. The beast suddenly appeared in front of the merchant. "Don't you know that it's a sin to steal?" said the beast loudly. "How dare you steal my roses?" "Oh, please have mercy on me, Mr. Beast. I beg of you," begged the merchant. "It's taken me years to cultivate this sort of rose," said the beast loudly, "and you, sir, will be severely punished for stealing it." But then the beast paused for a moment and said, "Unless, of course, you send me one of your daughters instead." The merchant reluctantly agreed in order to escape the beast, but he never really wanted to send any of his daughters to the great castle. "Remember, your daughter must be here tomorrow by breakfast time. If she is not here, then I shall come for you, and don't you ever forget it," said the beast as he let the merchant go home. The merchant ran all the way home and told his daughters the dreadful news. And as expected, he received a scolding from his elder daughters, who were very angry at not receiving their presents. "It's all Beauty's fault that you got into this trouble in the first place," said one of the daughters. "Beauty and her stupid rose. Beauty must be the one to get you out of this mess." The merchant did not want to send any of his daughters to the beast, so he asked his daughters to go to sleep and said that he will simply deal with the beast if and when he comes looking for the merchant the next day. After hearing her father's story, Beauty very much regretted asking her father for the red rose. But her spirits remained positive because she was confident that things will work out in the end. The next morning, before sunrise, Beauty quietly left the house, leaving a little note behind saying that she had gone to the beast's castle and begged her father not to worry about her. When Beauty arrived at the gate of the great park, she knocked upon it 3 times and it magically opened. Then she saw the great castle in the distance. She had never seen anything so beautiful before. And when Beauty arrived at the beautiful castle, the huge gates magically opened. In the great hall of the castle, Beauty found a breakfast table laid out for 2. It was a nice breakfast with steaming hot dishes and jams, honey and hot rolls. Then the beast appeared from behind a curtain, and Beauty's heart began beating very fast. But soon Beauty discovered that the beast was rather polite. The beast handed Beauty a chair and said to her, "Welcome to my castle, young lady. And what would you like to drink this morning? Tea or coffee?" "I would like to have some tea, please," answered Beauty. "Then please help yourself to some freshly brewed tea," said the beast, and Beauty was very impressed by the beast's gentle and polite nature. After breakfast, the beast gave Beauty ponies to ride, dogs and cats to play with, and the most beautiful dresses that Beauty has ever seen. The beast was most kind and attentive to Beauty, and she lived in the castle for many days, enjoying the life of a real princess. One day, the beast told Beauty that he loved her, and he asked her to marry him and live in the castle with him forever. But Beauty shook her head and said that she could not marry the beast because she missed her father and her sisters very much. "Very well," said the beast with a great sigh. "You may go home today, but please promise me that you will be back early tomorrow morning. If you do not come back in the morning, then I will surely die of a broken heart, because I love you so very much." So Beauty promised to come back the next morning and went home. She also took some wonderful presents from the castle for her father and her sisters. And as soon as she got home, she told them all about her wonderful life in the castle. After hearing all of the wonderful things at the great castle, Beauty's sisters became very envious and jealous of her, and decided to play a mean trick on Beauty and the beast. They mixed some medicine in Beauty's dinner that night, which made her sleep nearly all the next day. This meant that Beauty could not keep her promise to the beast to come back to the castle in the morning. By the time Beauty finally woke up, it was already evening, and she quickly rushed back to the castle. When she got inside the castle, she searched all the rooms, but the beast was not there. With fear and anxiety in her heart, she quickly ran to the gardens, and there she found the beast at last. The beast was lying stretched out on the grass, and Beauty thought that he was dead. "Oh, my dearest darling beast," Beauty cried as she threw herself on her knees beside the beast and gently raised his head. "Please do not die, for I do love you with all my heart, and I will marry you tomorrow." Then Beauty gave the beast a gentle kiss. All of a sudden, the beast came back alive and sprang to his feet, except that he was no longer a hideous monster, but was magically transformed into a handsome and well-dressed prince. "My dearest Beauty, please allow me to explain," said the prince to Beauty. "You see, a long time ago, a wicked fairy turned me into a monster, and her wicked spell would only be broken if one day a kind-hearted lady such as yourself told me that she truly loved me." "The wicked fairy may have changed your appearance," Beauty said to the prince, "but she could not change your heart, and I would have married you even if you remained looking like a beast." The very next day, Beauty and the handsome prince held a grand wedding at the great castle, attended by their family and friends, and they all lived happily ever after.